Hello! Yay! Okay. Yay! Hello, hello, everybody! I am back for the Saturday stream. Today, since it's going to be a longer stream, I'm going to do two things. Hello, Kamui! I'm going to play some backpack battles. My friend Ingrid told me there was a huge update recently, and I haven't played the game in like a year and a half, I believe. So yeah, there's a lot of new content. So yeah, let's have fun. Like it's a short game, so it's very fun to have a few sessions for one-off stream. So yeah, let's go. So okay, the original classes for those that don't know the game, it's a take on those deck builder games where the focus is on inventory management. The original classes are the Ranger, the Reaper, the Pyromancer, the Berserker, the Mage, the Adventurer. Okay, no, the original classes are the Ranger, the Reaper, the Pyromancer, and the Berserker. And the new classes are the Mage, the Adventurer, and the Engineer. Like, the gimmicks of each class are a mix of their starting gear and a specific upgrades they can get for each weapon based on the kind of offerings they get on the shops. For example, the Ranger gets a specialty on pets and food. The Reaper can get a specialty on some negative effects or on poisons. And she can create special potions too. The Power Monster is focused on accumulating heat. Heat increases your the activation speed of all your items. The Berserker is focused on improving items, so you can go offensive or defensive. And the new ones I have no idea, like I haven't tried them, but from the surface, what I could skim from the surface, the mage is probably going to be focused on getting the magic books. Like they were not very useful as exclusives because most of the other classes don't really have a focus on mana generation, but she actually has a very good mana generation item from the start. So yeah, she's probably going to get a lot of use for the magic items. The adventurer is supposed to be a jack of all trades, so she can get help from every single class item from the game. And the engineer uses parts that can be filled with energy, and those parts can activate your effects when they are filled. So yeah, I'm going to start with the witch first. The witch, no, the mage first, because I want to check what her stuff does. What? Oh, fuck's sake. Okay, no, I don't want to get. How do I cancel? Oh, great! I forgot how to cancel the game. Okay, okay, let's go. Star of Crew. Chance to find items. Sent to you. Okay, chance to find treasures. The weapon used there's a stamina. Okay, I'll leave the banana here. Let's get the sword. Lump of coal. Let's get lump of coal. Let's improve the sword into a torch and see if we can get some better gear from that. How much gold do I have left? 8. Oh yeah, potions are good for creating potion stacks. You can put one potion on top of another, so when it's consumed, it's just going to steal the effects of the above potions. Uh, Okay, let's try to get another weapon just for save it. Flame. Flame is good. Huh. Okay, let's go. Yeah, if you have paid Autopaths, it's on a similar concept too. Okay. Yeah, the rainbow badge is only you should only pick the rainbow badge if you really know what you're doing, because it's really easy to get overwhelmed with bad items that don't really give you any benefit. Okay, let's see. Mm. Okay, let's get gem box and save this on the and the healing herbs. Okay. Ah, finally. Okay, so I can do something about it. Yeah, food can they get improved effects if they have are touching different kinds of food. Okay. Yay. Okay, let's see what are those. Oh, those are good items. So they're new from the last time I've played. Okay, Awakening of Bling. I have an idea of how to use it. Okay, let's see. Hmm. Huh, okay, I can improve my potion. Whew. Okay. I'll save the plan for later, like, let me see. Yeah, let's go. Huh, I can actually improve it with fire. Okay. Ooh, I can break the piggy bank. Okay. Yeah, I believe that's going to work. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, there's some strange bags. I didn't know of these bags before. Yeah, they're really great. But have you played any backpack battles? Come on. Great. Okay, let's see. What can I do? Huh. Okay, I can get the pepper. Okay, I believe this is going to work. Okay, let's go! Yeah, I'm consuming too much stamina with the hammer. Yeah, let's remove the hammer. It's also occupying a lot of space. I don't really need to do that right now. Let's see. Huh, ruby egg. Yeah, I can get dragons. Dragons are really strong, but I don't have enough. Let's reserve it. Let's hope that I can get the next. Yeah, the planet is still consuming too much stamina. Okay. Let's hope it's going to work. Yeah, now I can get the subclass. So let's see. Crusader actually gets improvements from I forgot the name. Holy items. Cryomancer can get buffs from ice items. Ashbringer uh, focuses on. I believe I don't remember. I believe it uses stats effects. Firebender just generates a lot of fire and gets bonus and benefits from that. In Dragon Nest, you get buffs for benefits for carrying dragons with you. I remember Crusader being very broken in the earlier games. Okay, let's see. I will go with Scale Warden. Great. Ooh. Yeah, Gubert is its own archetype, and that's actually pretty strong. If you can get it rolling. Let's go. Let's try something. Okay. Woo! Okay, yeah, that's a good one. Draconic Orb, let's see. What can I do to get the benefits? Yeah, I can't. I have to get the ring, but I can't get it yet. Okay, this it's good enough. Let's go. Okay, let's see. Huh, okay. I saw those. I don't really need those right now. I don't have enough space to use them. Also, I need something else to help improve my my stamina generation. Let's see. I don't have enough space to get. Okay, let's go. Hmm. Okay, let's go. Ah. Okay, at least there's that. Okay. Okay, let's go. Woo. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hmm. Okay, that's actually a good item. Okay, let's see how much I need to save. I need 4 stones. Okay. Yeah, I'll save it for later. Chakravanti. Let's hope for the best. But yeah, the general idea is that with a parametric survival mode, okay. The main concept behind this game is that you have to learn how to balance damage and stamina on most of the classes, and also consuming resources with others. For example, the classes that use magic. Let's see. Uh, Yeah, knives don't use stamina. The daggers don't use stamina, but they can't be your main damage dealers. Like they're pretty slow to cause damage. I would take the dagger because daggers actually get some benefits from fire. Oh, the weapon gains 1 damage and 5% accuracy. Hmm. Yeah, this looks cool. I don't have space yet, but let's save it for later. Um, let's start. Yeah, I need more food items. Molten dagger, okay. I need some backpacks, please. Here. I can use it on any weapon right now. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. It will serve yeah, here, okay. Here. Perfect. Okay, let's see. Yeah, it's better like this. Okay. Let's hope for another backpack. Okay, yeah, this is enough. Okay, let's put it here. No, let's put some fire here. Dun, 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 dun. Whoa! I got completely swing roll, okay. Let's see, Molten Dagger, I use 1 to gain 2 damage. Yeah, I need a way to keep generating heat. Except the ones that are done. Oof, okay. Dun, 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 can't touch this. Dun, 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 dun. Can't touch this. Dun, 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 dun. Can't touch this. Dun, 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 dun. Great, now my banana is going to activate faster. Let's see. Still no space for another egg, but it's okay. Let's see, what can I... Oh no! Now I can't activate... Alright! For fuck's sake. This mouse. Yeah, I just need to get rocks. Finally. Okay, now let me clear some space and rethink my strategy. Okay, let's go in here, in here, in here. Perfect. You can leave this in here. Ah, okay. I died. Okay, let's see. Let's change my class again. Okay, now I can finally play the witch. Let's see. I don't want that for now. I need some bananas and onion. Need discount card, and I believe that's enough for the first fight. Whew. By the way, even the backpacks have passive effects, so yeah, it's good to be aware of what you're buying. Great. Okay, that would be good if I got a lot of potions. That's Arcane Vision, okay, Spare Scroll, Pause. Nice to meet you. I'll go nice to meet you. Knife's actually pretty fun to carry around when there's Equilibrium. Huh. Okay, let's keep it that. It's not going to do anything for now, but like at least let's hope that we can find daggers soon. Those are pretty interesting facts. Nature Chronicles trees. Okay, I need something that gives me regen to use that one. Hmm. Yeah, let's get this one. I haven't seen this one before. What did they do? Inflicts poison, gain mana. Huh. Okay. Let's see how do they work. Like I believe they're going to move around the bag. Let's get this book and let's go. Ah, finally, dagger. Okay. Let's see. And sing here. Okay. Hmm. Oh, that's actually good. Okay, let's reserve that. Let's go. I'm going to die. Oh, I survived. Okay, I could out damage her. Let's see. Rook. Capturing gain 3. Reflect. Poison. Huh, okay, that's actually a good item. see. Ah. Okay, let's see the subclasses. Magical girls, staffs, offered in shops. Athletic in one. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's to get to synergize with staffs. Spirit value, to the spirit companions. Mm. Yeah, that might be interesting to get. Shiny metal. Okay, that's very resource intensive. What elemental? Game. Shoot. Okay, that's spicy item. And here the hateful hat. Spends 5 random buffs. Random buffs. Oh, no, random buffs here. Okay, that's actually a good way to generate for Jane. Why was that not equipped on a weapon? Here, okay, fix it for you. Let's see. I need more daggers. I don't have too much nature items yet. Oh, food. Okay, it's food. Ba 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 bum ba bum ba bum bum. Okay. And I got my ass kicked. Oh, I can't get the. Ah. What is use? Okay, let's hope for the best, and it's still not getting daggers. Woof. Okay. Huh. Where are the daggers? Encyclopedia, Encyclopedia, Encyclopedia of Darkness. No, not interesting. Huh, I can upgrade my discount card. Why I don't have, why I can't get any daggers? I died. Yeah, I have to play more to learn her passives. But yeah, like, she is actually interesting the way her kit is working right now. Okay, I've played some of Backpack Battles, and as promised, I will do a second half of the stream as a drawing stream. So let's go. I have Krita open. Let's here. Okay, here. And let's connect the table. So let's do more drawing. Okay, Kimoi, should I continue? Bobby says should I draw something else for today? Uh, let's see. Oh, by the way, let's open Winamp. I'll try try something else for today. Okay, let's see. What can I draw? Oh well, I've been playing Final Fantasy 1, so let's do some Final Fantasy Renaissance to be more specific. So let's do some stuff with the Final Fantasy 1. So just let me check something. No, come back to that. Okay, wrong hex. Final Fantasy. And yes. And 200 visits per page. Okay. Let's look at Manaus Final Fantasy 1. Like Manaus Final Fantasy 1 is one of the best Final Fantasy 1 hacks on the list. "12 Jobs for Balance" is actually pretty good too. What's this Final Fantasy elements? Looks interesting. What is the improvement in Oh yeah, Elements is the one that I say that was the hack of like Final Fantasy -1, Final Fantasy Champion Edition, Final Fantasy Ultra Champion Edition, no, Final Fantasy Champion Edition, Champion Edition Plus, and Final Fantasy Ultra Champion Edition, and now there's Elements that's made over Final Fantasy Ultra Champion Edition. So yeah, like it's a stacking list of hacks on top of hacks on top of hacks. So yeah, let's start with the base game characters. So let's go. You know, I can. Whoops. Let's start by doing things smart, not hard. I can use the ellipsoids too. Yes, now I can just create this. And very smaller, okay. Let's cut it. Oops, no. Let me duplicate it first. Okay. Yeah, a small trick for those learning to draw characters. You can save a lot of time by simply doing using basic shapes to start the drawing and then work it around them. Like for example, let me now mix both layers, and now let's do this, and now I can redirect, reposition the eyes. Here. So now I can just draw on top of that, like I have a basic head shape, especially because I'm referencing this art. This art here. So it's going to be easy to work in the details. Yeah, my circle is too big. Like not only now I realize it. Okay. Maybe I should redo it because yeah, there's no space for the rest of the character here. Let's see. Let's resize first just to check if it's not going to make the lines too thin. Yeah, no, it's thick enough. Okay. Nope. Okay, let's do the warrior. Oh yeah, this is a song from Jelly Boy. Jelly Boy is actually pretty great. It is a incomplete sequel to Smart Ball, and it has a lot of interesting concepts for an NES platformer. And it actually you play it on an amusement park. So yeah, I love this game simply on principle because I love games that use that concept well. So let's do. So yeah, at some point I was writing a fun novelization of Final Fantasy One. I still want to rewrite it, but I simply got a bunch of disasters one after another in that year, so I was not in the good space of mind to keep continuing it. But the main concept behind the novel was trying to play around the elements that exist in the original NES game and try to explain them. What's the word for it? Eidetically. So yeah, they were part of the story. So for example, I've used the fact that the world of Final Fantasy 1, like huge spoilers if you haven't played it, but so the world of Final Fantasy 1 is actually a post-apocalyptic one. So the setting actually plays after the end of a prior civilization, and a lot of what we consider artifacts are actually remains of that old civilization. It becomes extremely evident once you reach the fourth and final main dungeon, the Sky Fortress, if I'm not mistaken, the name of the thing. Because the path for the Sky Fortress is actually through a tower in the desert, and in that tower you actually start seeing things that the characters don't know how to interpret, so they don't really comment very much on it. But if you have seen technology from the 70s and the 60s, you can clearly see those are computer servers. So the Mirror Tower actually is a launch platform, and at the top of the tower there's a portal to a space station, and the Air Fortress is actually a space station where you can see the world of the first game from space. Oops. So there is a huge reveal after that. So what you thought was just a common fantasy game, it was actually a sci-fi game. It was a sci-fi and post-apocalyptic game on a trench coat trying to pass as a fantasy game. So yeah, the main idea is that it was like a very common twist of the time. Like it was not the only game that had this kind of twist, but it was one that a lot of people forgot about because most of the remakes of Final Fantasy 1 actually remove all of those futuristic tile sets to make it a more generic fantasy game. But I really like this element of it. So the idea was going to be trying to form a plot around the concept of the world being superficially a fantasy setting, but the elements simply never fit well from the descriptions. Like, since it was in the written form, I could use a smart wordplay to represent the characters not really understanding what they are looking at. But if you have a reference of modern life, you can easily surmise that wait, these things sound very familiar from the descriptions. Like, for example, the Temple of Fiends is not actually a temple. The characters would call it a Temple of Fiends, but the idea would be that it would be described as using the words of a medieval society, what would be pretty much a modern lab. And Garland, actually being a well-educated man, of not noble, but of at least higher origins, he would be able to read what was in those in the labs. So, taking a cue from Strangers in Paradise, Garland would actually be acting trying to deal with the what he would find out would be planned by the Fiends to take over the future after the world was destroyed by their society and their technology. Sort of taking also cues from Dissidia, where Cydia Flafane is actually trying to rebuild the reality to undo the mistakes of the civilization. Not for good reasons, by the way, like he's just doing it for self-benefit. Because he really wants, it's one of those return guys. Okay, exaggeration too much. These eyelashes. Let's use a different eyelash style. And another example how it would be implied of the post-apocalyptic side of the setting. In my original writings, like I plan on actually keep using that to as an example of what is going to happen, but I plan on rewording some of this stuff because yeah, the reason why magic is so what to say limited in the world of Final Fantasy 1 in terms of access is that magic is actually misunderstood bioengineering. So the all why characters can only learn like 3 magic spells of every level and why they're limited by some of it, because magic is actually using the screw of Warhammer 40k, they are implanted organs that generate the effects at once. So for example, the level 1 fire spell from my setting would be the character literally spitting fire because they had surgically implanted glands that would sweat the inflammable substance. That's why it can be healed, it can be recovered by rest, because they would explain in the setting that it was a form of the it was just their body recovering the components to create more of this magic. And why you could just fuel your body with learn every single spell that exists in the setting, because yeah, like your body only has so much space to fit new organs, like so you're not really able to just install a bunch of stuff indefinitely. So the white mage, for example, curing magic would actually be a endocrine substance that they would sweat from the palms of their hands, so that it would improve healing and soothe pain. Another one of the basic concepts for the mechanics is that the Warriors of Light would not be destined to be chosen like the concept I was going to work with was that the Warriors of Light were actually a ruse, a fake prophecy created by the Fiends themselves in order to create the conditions for their own return, because their plan was to actually take over the Wars of Light, like the full prophecy that Luca learned was actually implanted on him by the Fiends, and they would be overtaken by the Fiends because the crystals, why the crystals start working after the Fiends are killed, because the crystals were actually supposed to be beacons to the fiends. So when the candidate, when the minds of the fiends would be passed to the bodies of the warriors of light, and overtake their bodies, they would kill themselves and use, and the spheres would just activate, getting them the excuse to fix the stuff they were breaking on purpose to get some to easily take over the world, because they would simply try to do the whole hero's journey thing on the population to create a legend about themselves, so they could easily take multiple seats of power on that society. What Garland saw in the logs of the Temple of Fiends is what he led him to rebelling, because I've made Garland to actually be the son of the archaeologist in my setting, so that he would actually be able to read from the scriptures, or the old scriptures. That's the language of the old civilization. And the whole reason why the Temple of Fiends can take you to the past is because a time machine was made as a last-ditch effort to salvage their planes in case everything went to shit and they were killed. So they would get infinite tries to get back, but the time machine couldn't take them back to before it was built. So the whole cycle was limited to a point where their version of reality was already flagged. They couldn't prevent it from being destroyed, so they just went and decided, okay, since we don't have a future, we're going to institute the future of the future people. I also used some elements from the manga adaptation from Final Fantasy 1. So, for example, I would make the Red Mage the adopted child of Matoya, who would be a dwarf in the book, because Matoya is actually the Red Mage in one of the adaptations, and she was actually, and I would make it so that Matoya was actually from a prior adventuring party, and that's why she would know of Lalibu. That, by the way, Lalibu is a mispronunciation of Laliho. That is the name of that's the dwarves catchphrase in the Final Fantasy setting. So Lalibu was going to be well versed in Dwarvish and would have known the mother of the warrior, as Lalibu would be, and the four warriors of light would be the warrior, the chief, the white mage and the black mage, and the red mage and black belt would be their companions for the adventure, because the idea would be that the original plan by the black mage I was going to make him the oldest member of the group, by far, because he was actually an old man that was very versed in magic, but didn't have good health since he was young, so he was never allowed to try too hard to overexert his body and to go on adventures to get stuff done. So when he ended up getting one of the crystals implanted on him, he decided to form a party with the rest of the chosen ones, as they would say. So he found that the white mage had gotten had gotten the one of the crystals, and he would contract the red mage and the black belt to get the remaining crystals and form the party. But the story would start with you meeting the warrior, jailed in a caravan, being taken to the Crescent Lake, so they would meet with the Council of Mages and talk to the Black Mage. Because in there, the Black Mage would explain that since they already have bonded to the crystals, there is no way to take it out, and since it's a prophecy, it most likely means that they were chosen by the gods or something. So the original idea would be that the red mage and the black belt would keep accompanying the party through their adventures, and they would fall off in power as the rest of the ones of the party would end up evolving with time. And by the way, the mother of the warrior would have a strange relationship with the party, because his mother was actually a member of the party of Matoya that have gone and did great deeds in the past, and he always felt like he would never reach her heights. And the white mage would be someone that met an old friend of his mother, and she would explain to him that maybe what he doesn't know about his mother that had died a long time ago is that she also didn't believe she was fit for what she was doing. She started as a white mage, but as after seeing the many disgraces taking over the land, she decided to take action, and she took a sword and a shield and became a warrior. And the white mage will be the one to convince the warrior to try and learn white magic to help more people, because maybe his calling is not as a killer but as a savior. And the thief would actually start the adventure trying to be his own person in the party, but because he was supposed to be a very what's the word? He had a very rough life up until that point, and he never really believed in himself. So as the black mage would explain magic to him and how things work, etc., he would actually be interested in wanting to learn it, and that would be the explanation why the two gain access to magic spells during their class change in the original game. Should I make the... Yeah, the warrior's left-handed, that's okay. Because the thief, while he believed he was just an ignorant urchin that lived in the big city and didn't really had any good talents outside of being a thief, he would actually be a very smart character to represent his supposed ability of being actually lucky and keen to stuff happen, being able to avoid supposedly being able to avoid what's the word, ambushes. So the black mage would actually incentivize him to learn magic, to learn to trust himself more. What's the okay? Let's take that then. Like I really should go back to writing it. It was a very fun story to write about. But I should get a better routine to write it first, because write it with the shortness in time is not really going to be fun to do, and it's going to affect the quality of the story. Especially because I want it to be a launching point for other stories that I plan to write about that will use the same concept. So, for example, I also have planned a take on the Seventh Saga. I forgot the name. And Paladin's Quest too. I should really play Phantasy Star too, because Phantasy Star also really fits well with this. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I can just. I need to actually. Okay. I will be on for like at least 20 more minutes, so it's okay. Take your time, don't worry. I should have decided on the pose before drawing, because I forgot that his left leg would be moving forward. So let's do this. That those look like veins, no. Oops. Yeah, Magical Drop 2. Knew I was recognizing this song. Also, by the way, a strange development with regards to Brazilian internet. For some time, the Orville clip of 500 cigarettes became extremely popular in Brazil. So I ended up entering the rabbit hole on a lot of memes of people just citing the scene of 500 cigarettes for some reason. Okay, yeah, that which works way better like that. So let's clean it. By the way, something I really thought about as a funny thing about Brazil is that sometimes you can know someone is Brazilian by the kind of anime reference that they do. For example, when people are going to do a projectile attack as a joke, like are going to mimic a projectile attack, energy attack like the Kamehameha. In Brazil, we don't actually do the Kamehameha. We actually do the motions for Ryu's Hadouken from Street Fighter Victory. Because, yeah, like Street Fighter Victory was way more important for the generation that started the otaku culture in Brazil than Dragon Ball, because Dragon Ball actually got to Brazil really late, and most of the early fights didn't involve a lot of. It got to Brazil really late, and we got Dragon Ball in order, so we didn't get Z first. Z came like way after its peaking popularity on the East, so we actually didn't see that many, as we would like to say, um, little powers fights, like luta de poderzinho in my language. That would be so pervasive in the general Dragon Ball. And because of that, oh, I can draw the plate. Yeah, it's a plate. It's not supposed to bend around the leg. It's supposed to be stay straight on top of it. That's why I had to redraw it. So yeah, if you see a clip of someone doing the Street Fighter Victory Hadouken motion, you can pretty much be certain that they are Brazilian, because a lot of times when people try to do this kind of thing, they do that. At least at a certain age range, like after some point, like Street Fighter Victory lost a lot of cultural relevance, especially because after the end of arcades, a lot of games related media really disappeared and was replaced by battle shonens. Okay, I'm really liking how it's coming up. Okay, this time I'll probably be able to have time to color it. So yeah. Ooh, down the word. Okay, let me. Oh no, it's broken here. Oh, Dosun. Okay, let's go Dosun. Dosun is like one of my favorite combat puzzle games in the NES, in the SNES. It is like really fast-paced if you know what you're doing, and you can actually wreck some pretty stupid combos with if you're smart about your placement of pieces. Dosun tries to do a mix of columns and like this. Super Puzzle Fighter didn't exist at the time, but yeah, it's pretty close to what Super Puzzle Fighter was doing. It has a life bar, so it would be. It even plays Monster Slider. Like if you know of arcade games, you know of Monster Slider, probably. But yeah, it was. It had life bars, so the objective was not to do combos to fill your enemy screen, but it was possible. Like there was specific pieces that helped with that. But it was a sort of RPG team campaign. Like it's not an actual RPG. It had no RPG elements outside of like a fantasy setting and some references to RPGs. In some of the mechanics, but it was not really. It didn't have really anything that made it an RPG. So the game actually has specific animations for finishing long combo with based on the length of the combo and the kind of piece used to finish the combo. For example, a character finishing a combo with a summon piece would each one summon a different summon, and the summons would grow with more as the combos got longer. So like I believe the main character could summon dragons, and As the combos grew, it would be a bigger dragon, or with spells, they would gather better spells, etc. And each was exclusive for each character. So while in the story mode you only got one. Oops. Okay, you only got one character, three characters to play. You got the cleric, the dwarven cleric, like it was not really dwarven, like he was pretty much a wrestler with a cleric hat. Like he was a burly, shirtless old man that was hammering his foes with a fucking mallet. He rocked. Like he's one of my favorite characters of that game. But in the versus mode, you could actually play the bosses, and one of the issues I have with the versus mode of that game is that outside of the very first few enemies that you fight, like every boss has a lot of HP, and if you play with them on versus mode, they still keep the Cavalier amounts of HP. So yeah, you're really going to break the game if you try to do a versus game with allowing the bosses to be played. But the game actually has a lot of attention to detail. Like, you really like a lot of the small things that it adds. Like, if you have the chance, you should really play it. Like, not even an exaggeration. It is really well done for what's supposedly a very small title. I hate Dragon Ball Z. Okay, then here. Okay, let's get this one. I didn't know he has some kick-ass on soundtrack. It is a parody RPG, like I would say. Like, it's more of a comedy RPG. It takes place in the future, and you play as a psychic kid that has pyromancy powers, and your party are a bunch of misfit weirdos that each have weird abilities, like a sumo wrestler that has a stat depending on how fast you can make him, a medium that learns some extremely stupidly powerful spells, an old scientist, a schoolgirl, like I don't remember what was this specialty. And there were actually a cross as a stat, because there are certain places that you can only enter as a man or as a woman. So if you want to get certain party members on those places, you could actually get some you'd had to cross-dress your characters. It is like a running gag in the game. Also, it had a lot of environment-based gear. So for example, if you were in a ice dungeon, you were supposed to be wearing gear that would help you protect from the cold. And if you are in a fire dungeon, you would need gear that would help not suffer from the heat. And the game tries to really sucker punch you with that, because one of the most cruel parts of the game is literally a volcanic dungeon inside of an ice mountain. So yeah, if you don't know what is coming, you have to prepare yourself with 2 sets of gear, because once you cross into the lava dungeon, you really have to change your gear, or else you're going to suffer the rest of the way. But yeah, like, it's an interesting system, and I like when they do things like that, because yeah, why put a temperature system in your game if you're not going to actually force the players to think smart about it? Like, yeah, I'm going to, if we're not paying attention to what's happening in the story, I'm going to be taken by surprise by the... Oh, the sword's on the wrong... Ah, for fuck's sake. I misaligned the sword. Let's fix it. Like, yeah, this kind of sucker punch is actually pretty good game design. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it's one of my favorite examples of, yeah, if you're not paying attention, you're going to get screwed. It's not our fault. Here, okay, yeah, here's a better place. Let's put it based on another layer. This way we can actually raise what's under it without affecting the drawing. Always remember, work smart, don't work harder. A game that I really want to play on stream too, but I'll have to think of a way to play it because it doesn't have an English translation yet. Like, I beat it in Japanese, believe me. That game is really hard to play if you don't know what you're doing because it's very dependent on stats effects and you don't know what you're casting if you can't read. But yeah, the game is very new world. It's another game that happens in a theme park. It's a amusement park based around the stories of Julius Verne, and it's actually a pretty interesting take on the RPG formula. Like, it has two kinds of magic systems. So it has packs that are the abilities exclusive to each character. So for example, the main character, Yu, is a practitioner of Kendo. So he learns a bunch of sword skills. And these skills are... what is the benefit of skills? They grow in power as your character grows. They consume tech points that are can be easily refilled. But there's another type of magic in that game that is the gadgets. The gadgets are items that you can buy in the park, and they consume the currency of the park, that they sort of energy cell. This currency can use as a currency, but it cannot be used to improve those equipments. So those gadgets. So for example, a gadget will always have the basic form, and you can spend extra energy to improve what it is going to do. So I believe like only a few gadgets don't start at the single target version, but yeah, most gadgets will start at the single target version. That's the minimal price you have to pay to use it. But then they are going to get, but then you can like pay extra to make it hit an entire row of enemies or entire column of enemies. So enemy position is actually pretty important. So the advantage of using gadgets, that why they consume a lot of resources to use, in the late game is not really that much of an issue. Like it helps a lot that in the late game you're going to really be swimming on cash, but the why they consume a lot of resources, you can actually customize how much you want to use it. So why with text they only work a single way, like if you try to use a tech, like you can't really edit it. So if you have a tech that hits a lot of enemies for low damage, you can't really do nothing about it. Like there's no fixing that. It is what it is. But for example, if you have a gadget that hits a single enemy, like in gadgets in general are going to be stronger, like in their base attack. If you have a gadget that hits a single enemy and does a lot of damage, you can pay extra to make it hit more enemies. Like, that's pretty much a easy way to get more abilities. So the main issue with gadgets outside of consuming a lot of resources is also that they don't really grow with your character. Like every new region that you're going to come through, you are going to need to buy new gadgets because the old ones are going to be do pitiful damage because they barely get improved by your stats. So it's a game that tries to really give you a reason to learn both systems. Like, since you start without much in terms of text, you're not really going to need to do a lot of tasks at first. But as you learn new texts with each character, it's going to be an important part of your game to learn to see what turns should be spent on magic and what turns should be spent on gadgets, and what turns should be spent on attacks, or just simply using your basic attacks or icons too. And each class actually has a flavor to them, and it affects what kind of gadgets they can equip on top of their equipment, like of each one. And what tech they learn. Like all techs are exclusive to each character, so no two characters are going to have the same techs. And that actually represents a lot of the personality they have in their fighting styles. For example, one of the classes is a hacker girl, and I believe the only tech I learned with her that I remember, like I don't remember, it has been years since I last played the game, and she was pretty good at using gadgets. And she doesn't learn her tech at least until very late in the game, but the only tech I was able to learn with her is her hacking a fucking satellite and sending an orbital laser into the arena. Like, it's that kind of game. It's extremely funny. And the quote-unquote assassin class of the game, since the enemies are robots, they're animatronics taking off the part. The assassin class of the game is a fucking park engineer. His assassination skill is a dismantling. Like he only has one tech, dismantling, and he has a very high chance of instantly killing an enemy. Because yeah, he's an engineer. Like the stuff he does is assemble machines. If all your enemies are machines, that's the perfect use of it. Use case for it. Okay, well, it took a lot of time just to draw the knight, but yeah, I'm happy with it. I will leave it at that. Like maybe in a following string I will continue it or continue the Bubsy drawing. But yeah, see you all later. Goodbye.